Today is a review of the TL-7. It should be really quick. This is a very, very not enjoyable vehicle for me, so I'll keep it rather short. We'll just hop right into it, and I'll throw some gameplay in the background once we cover the garage details. So anyway, getting into it, you can see my crew at the top left. I am running Brothers in Arms, amongst some other little ones, no repairs or anything, just some generalized valuable stuff in my opinion. This is a tier 9 tank destroyer with, I think, actually pretty good base view range. It's around 400. You can see with optics and vents, I have 475. But we'll get into the gun, which is the thing that arguably most people care about. So to start, you have 360 alpha damage, 252 penetration on the standard shell. I'll pull it up here so you can get a better idea. It is a 37-second reload overall. That is with food, vents, vent directive, and Brothers in Arms. So without that, you can expect around 40 seconds roughly, which is really, really rough. You do have 10 degrees gun depression. The turret traverse doesn't feel too bad. The aim time is 2.25 seconds, 0.33 dispersion. With an aiming unit, keep that in mind if you're not running that. If you're opting to use, let's say, a turbo or an IRM, you'll end up feeling that definitely a little bit worse. With the setup I have, again, we're rocking about 2,000 base, a little bit under DPM. The hit points are 1,500. You have relatively okay hull armor, 100 on the front, 50 on the side, 45 on the rear. Turret armor, 200 from the front, 80 from the side, 50 from the rear. In my experience, you'll kind of see that in the background footage. It doesn't really feel too great. It doesn't do me any favors for the most part. Mobility is not too terrible in certain aspects. So in a straight line, it goes about 50, reverse speed of 15 with minus a turbo, so that could actually get boosted up to about 17 probably. However, something that is horrific is the traverse speed. Do not turn unless you absolutely have to. It is horrific, like comically bad. The only vehicle I remember it's got it just as bad around the same tier probably a Beresk, and even the Beresk isn't as bad as this. It is abysmal to turn around. I promise you will definitely see that when you see some gameplay here. The setup I have is no camo. This is just the camo painted on the vehicle and food, along with vents and stuff, but I don't have camo trained at all. We're about 20% concealment. If you want to see what that looks like fully stacked out, which is very possible, as it does have 4 crew members, which will fit some tanks. Admittedly, it won't fit all of them. For American tank destroyers, because you tend to have a lot of crew members like E3, E4, T30, for example, all have quite a bit. But with concealment, fully trained, you're looking at about 34.5, almost 35% camo, which is pretty meaningful for the most part in my experience. I am running recon situational awareness, like I said before, which is why my view range ends up being so high. Again, that does include optics as an equipment piece. But overall, we'll just I think wrap the garage up there. Like I said, I'm going to try and keep it a little quick for you guys. As far as the shells as well, I meant to mention, this does have a 105 HE pen, because everything has to have high explosive pen nowadays for some insane reason. 315 APCR pen. However, it does get really nice shell velocity at 1492. That is pretty serious. In the grand scheme. That definitely gets you towards like CS52 LAS levels, Leo 1 levels. It's definitely a cozy round in that regard. But, oh, I forgot to mention as well, this is an auto loader, which I assume you figured out by the 40-second reload, with a 2.3 second interclip and 4 shells in the magazine. 2.3 seconds actually feels pretty good. It could be because I've been playing a lot of the Minotauro, which is an 8-second interclip reload, so maybe I'm a little bit delusional, but it definitely doesn't feel super oppressive. The hatch on the roof is pretty bad. If I had to describe this vehicle similar to something else, it reminds me a lot of an Astron Rex. Very, very similar, and I don't really enjoy that vehicle at all. Anyway, let's hop over to the gameplay. Alright, hello. So, let's get into the gameplay portion here. We're set up on Mountain Pass from the south spawn. I'm going to try to push mid just to kind of see what's up. It's going to be a little tough for me, admittedly, because the reload is so long that you're kind of limited as far as what you can shoot. Obviously, it comes down to a lot of the heavier stuff like the Phase 1 or the WZ, that general trend of vehicle. But I'm default loading APCR here again, as I mentioned in the garage. The main thing is the shell velocity, and that is admittedly great. It's arguably the best thing about the vehicle, in my opinion. It's important to mention as well, if you're watching this, and not just listening, I am running the better reticle mod, and the reason that's important is because the reticle is going to look probably smaller than what you'd expect for .33. Also, very, very quickly, you can see how horrific that traverse is. I mean, it is comically bad. I decide it's a bit too full in mid, so I'll rotate out and try to see if we can spot anything on the bridge. Again, another nice thing, admittedly, as much as I want to take a giant dump on this vehicle, is the fact that it is pretty good V-range as well for a tank destroyer. Typically, you'd expect a lot worse than 475. I'm kind of waiting and checking my map here to kind of see what's up. Just hoping we'll spot something. We as in the team, and I can kind of play off that. But while we wait, let me get into the release of this vehicle. So this is coming in the loot boxes that we have for the May event or whatever. Frankly, I just detest that they're releasing these vehicles over and over again in these loot boxes. Overall, I don't know, maybe it's me being a little disenfranchised, I'm not really sure, but I'm definitely feeling a little frustration and fatigue with just, I know it sounds funny even repeating it now, how greedy everything seems to come across from Wargaming. It's like, every event, there's loot boxes, there's Watt Plus, you gotta buy a subscription for the subscription to the game. It's just, when is it enough? I mean, it's never enough, clearly. We know this from watching the performance of the company in the last few months and I guess overall years, but it's definitely rubbed me the wrong way, and if you value my opinion at all, which I'm not saying you necessarily should, but if you do, for whatever reason, genuinely, as a CC, I am a community contributor. I get directly benefited from people playing World of Tanks, watching my stream, my YouTube videos. Genuinely, please do not buy these loot boxes. Quite frankly, I am super, super into World of Tanks. I know, again, it sounds funny, but I've played this game for so long. I care about it deeply. I wouldn't be making YouTube videos for it. I wouldn't be streaming it all the time. If I genuinely hated it. I want them to do better, because I know they're capable of it. And I feel that, frankly, it is in my best interest and all of your guys to just explain to Wargaming in the only language they understand, money. Just insist that they are not doing the right thing with all these boxes over and over again. And more importantly, as far as that, loot box exclusive vehicles. If you wanted the Japanese Tank Destroyer Premium because you love the way the Tier 10 plays, if you didn't gamble for it with the loot boxes, and I say gamble very specifically in this case, but not in the sense of Christmas boxes, explain to them with your wallet. It's your money, do what you want. This is a, very, very small Twitch streamer, just giving you my general opinion, but hopefully you guys can get an idea of how the vehicle performs in terms of the gun, mobility, and sort of overall theme. That should cover it. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.